How you doing? So did Yondu get nerfed or is he not working properly? So I wasn't sure what to name the title of the video, so that's why I said did Yondu get nerfed with a question mark. Uh, I don't know if he got nerfed or not. I'm just asking that question, or he's just not working properly. When it came to Scorpion, I knew right away, and I was pretty certain that he wasn't like working properly. Not so much that he was nerfed, but that he wasn't working properly. When it comes to Yondu, however, I don't feel the same. I think there's a very good chance that he is working properly, that how Kabam intends him to be. So when I said Yondu was a solid buff, I think he's still a good buff. It's not like the best buff, like I mentioned in my Yondu buff video, but it's still a good buff. I think his damage is like at least doubled, and maybe in the right circumstances it's tripled, which I'll explain a little bit later. And what else? He can now steal prowess from from mutants at the most, because I know mutants have prowess, maybe other champions as well. So you can now take prowess from opponents and convert it to armor up buffs, which will make him tankier. So there's three things that you can look in the positive side. When it comes to his buff, his damage is now doubled. In some cases, you could say triple. And he can now take prowess from the opponent, which will reduce their special attack damage, as well as give them armor up buffs from those prowess that he's able to take from the opponent. So those are three positive things that you can look for Yondu's buff. Having said that, I want to say that I could have, if he is working as intended, you know, I could admit that I was wrong about his buff. I do, and that's the part about the game. You got to learn about your mistakes and learn to accept that, you're not perfect. So I expected his buff to be better, assuming that he's working properly, as how Kabam is intended him to work. And I might change the title of this video saying that I was wrong about Yondu's buff. But I mean, I'm not saying I'm completely wrong that his buff was completely useless. Like I mentioned, three positive things to look for his buff. His damage is now doubled, maybe even tripled, and he can now take prowess from the opponent, as well as gain armor buffs from those prowess. So those three things to look forward to his buff. I haven't updated the game, so he still has his old abilities, because for other reasons, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, which I'll make another video why I haven't updated the game. But so I just think that he's an okay buff. I didn't expect his buff to be like amazing, like Diablo amazing buff or Nebula amazing buff, but I think his buff is okay. I did say that his buff was solid. I think maybe not so much solid. It's just an okay buff. I expected his buff to be better, and I was wrong on that. And I'm willing to admit that, assuming that he's working as intended. Like similar to Scorpion, he wasn't working as intended. So, but I'm pretty sure on the Scorpion one. But with this one, I think he is working as Kabam intended. I think the biggest reason why, when it comes to his SP2, that I miscalculated is when it comes to his SP2, he has a Fury buff for 14 seconds. The biggest issue is that his timer for that 14 seconds, it starts when he throws his SP2, and his SP2 takes a long time. So if they and I didn't think about that, so I could see people using 6-star rank 1 and only getting like 1 bar of power when he gets, for that 14 seconds he gains a Fury buff, which is not that great. So another thing is, I've seen a lot of videos of him where a lot of people are just using a 6-star rank 1, and he really benefits from like a power gain. You know, like if you had a 5-star rank 5, you get an extra 20% attack. I mean 20, not 20% attack, but 20% combat rate, which will help him get to SP2 faster, and you'll be able fire more SP2s, meaning longer duration on the Fury, more Fury buff time, which will help him. Also, if you dedicate a synergy team to him, which I have right here, I have a synergy team that will increase his power rate by up to 22%. So if you had like a 5-star rank 5 and you have a team like I created right here, which will increase his combat power rate another 22%, that's like about 42% combat rate total compared to a 6-star rank 1 versus a 5-star rank 5 with synergies. So it will definitely help him get to like SP2 much faster, which will give him maintain his Fury buff faster. And with this synergy team, and if you're using like a 5-star rank 5, I would not be surprised if his attack is increased by triple. Yes, I know triple is kind of like I figured triple was aiming too high when I said that, but double at least, and maybe even triple with this team as well if you're using a rank 5 champion. So those are my thoughts when it comes to Yondu. I think his buff is just okay. It's not like as good as I thought it was, assuming that he's working as Kabam intended him to be. Yeah, a little disappointed. If they just managed to pause his Fury buffs when he throws his special attacks, that would help his damage increase by so much. Because of that, he's like his Fury doesn't last very long, because he, by the time he, you know, a lot, like almost half of the time he's throwing his getting his Fury buff, he has like a, what is it, he's throwing his special attack too, so you only really like have like 7 or 8 seconds of Fury buff to use for his basic attack, which is really not much time. So that's it. If they can pause his attack, pause his Fury buff when he throws a special attack, that would have improved his buff so much. But I feel like a little bit not how Kabam didn't do so well when it comes to his buff. His Fury buff is just not that long. Or they could have just, instead of 14 seconds, they could have made it like 20 seconds for his Fury buff. That would help him a lot. But since his SP2 takes a lot of the time for his Fury buff duration, it's kind of like it doesn't give him much time for his basic attacks. So that's it. Those are my thoughts when it comes to Yondu's buff. Thank you.